喂，好大声，好，那大家好哈，这一场喂，这样好一点吗？喂喂，
tested.
All right. So yeah, so as I mentioned that since you're using GitOps, right, you can containerize your application code, the model itself, and now since we are packaging all of it, similar to how you create versions of your images, so you can tag your Docker image, so you have different tags. You can create different tags with your machine learning model and track different experiments, because like let's say you're in a data science lab, just one single version of the model does not always give you good results. So you're constantly tweaking your data, you're constantly tweaking your model weights in order to get better responses. So if you have multiple experiment runs, you can track all of them, and these serve as your inputs for creating your SBOMs for AI. So this way, like GitOps is a great way to basically track whatever changes are happening in your entire machine learning model and prepare a proper model attestation for more secure access. So generally, like these are the touch points in order to get started with GitOps. So you can basically take your application code, package it as a model, and then push it to a registry, right? And this is how you will see a demo that I'll do right now, which is we'll first pull a model from Hugging Face, then we will create a ModelKit OCI image for it, and we'll use Cosign. So Cosign basically adds cryptographic attestation to ensure that only verifiable model kits have been created. So using Cosign, it basically works with Sigstore in order to provide immutable signed images. So let's look at how a typical GitOps pipeline basically looks like. So similar to like Docker pull, where you pull an container image from Docker Hub or any private registry, you can do a git pull, which will pull your OCI artifact, and you can unpack it, which is like basically unpacking all of the contents that are there in your entire system. And then you can basically, like how you create you have a Docker file, you create a Docker image from it by running Docker build command, and finally you have to push it to a container registry like Docker Hub. So you can do a very similar type of use case with GitOps, but for AI. So let's take a demo where we will import a Hugging Face model with ModelKit. We will sign it, and then we'll verify it. So here what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing git import tiny LLM. So this is a Hugging Face open source model. So I'll just quickly show you. So it's a tiny large language model which is only 27 megabytes in size. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll use the command git import. So this will basically import this Hugging Face model and create a model kit for it. So while it's doing it, the entire idea here is I can quickly also show you what are the contents of this particular model kit. So similar to how you have container images and you can do like Docker images list, and it lists all of the different images that you have downloaded in your system. Similarly, like a kit list shows you all of the list of model kits. So again, not to be confused, a model kit is very similar to a container image, but a model kit is purposely built for packaging and securely accessing your AI models. So we have done that, and I'll just say no. So now you can see that my model has been packed as this particular tiny LLM latest, and you can start basically using this in order to make your model more secure. Now the next step is that you want to use Cosign. So basically with Cosign, what you do is that Cosign is a tool which is used to sign container images to ensure that they are verifiable. So in this case, what we are doing is that we are going to be cosigning this particular model kit. So similar to how we have Docker Hub, right? There is this another version of the same thing called as Zozu, which is also another OCI registry. So here you can see that just in the morning, because we are running out of time, I'll quickly show you that like similar to how we have Docker pull, we have something called as git pull. So this git pull command basically pulls that model kit, right? So whenever I say model kit, it's nothing but a container image built for AIML. So when I do git pull, it pulls that particular model kit locally in my system, and I can pull out the contents. And in order to basically show you what the contents are, so the contents can be seen here. So these are the list of contents. So we have the inference code, we have the model itself. So you can see the list of contents here, which are mentioned in that model kit. So it contains the model itself, the code base, and the documentation around that particular model, right? And with Cosign, I can ensure that I have basically securely, basically this particular sign that you see, this tick mark, this basically says that this is a signed and verified image. And the way that I was able to do it is with the help of Cosign. So Cosign allowed me to sign that particular model kit and verify and store it securely into my OCI registry. So with that, what I did was I generated a key pair and I went ahead and signed that same model kit that I just showed you on Zozu Hub. So this way, what we do is that we basically like package our machine learning model with the help of model kit. We sign it to ensure that only verified users have actually done that. And then you'll see that within this, you can get some security reports. So you can see if a particular model kit has any issues, right? So here you can see that there are no issues because this is a safe image. But had it been an unsafe model, it would have flagged that over here. And there are also open source projects like ModelScan. So I'll just quickly show you. So if you want to do it in your CI, you can use something called as ModelScan. And this ModelScan can run locally, where you can basically look at, okay, does my model have any vulnerabilities that I should be aware of? So this is an open source project that you can use to basically like protect your model against any serialization attacks. So here you can see that there is, a quick demo of a PyTorch model which shows that there is an issue, a critical issue. So you can also run this command locally in your system called as ModelScan to ensure that there is no vulnerabilities within your model. So a combination of signing your model, running ModelScan, all ensure that you have a secure model. And finally, like as we are coming to a close, I wanted to basically sign this off with policy as code. How many of you have heard of Open Policy Agent or OPA? So these are typically used to ensure that you have proper compliance. So you basically define policies for your code with the help of open source projects like Kyverno or Open Policy Agent. And for example, you have defined a system that you don't let your Kubernetes get deployed or a image inside of Kubernetes deployed in case your model scan does not pass through. So in case your model is not secure, don't let that get deployed in production. So you can define these policies in your production workload, and this way you can automate the governance of your entire AI system. And you can also, with Cosign, you get transparency. You get an immutable record of all of the attestations that you have defined. And with policy enforcement at deployment, you ensure that untrusted models are not getting into production. So as we recap, we have seen now that, of course, Docker images are great, but they are not purposely built for AIML. So this is where model kits with the open source project called as KitOps is a purposely built OCI compliant artifact format that is built for AIML, but it comes with some built-in security measures such as scanning your models for any vulnerabilities, also having a proper audit trail with proper dedicated model attestation, being able to sign your machine learning models to ensure that there are no compliance issues and only trusted users have been able to verify and run these models. And finally, an end-to-end supply chain for AI can be achieved with the help of open source tools like GitOps, Cosine, and Kubernetes. So using them all together, you can get a proper machine learning model, that is secure. So this is like what you should use or try to use in production. So as I mentioned earlier, that you can also deploy model kits. So you can deploy model kits like any container image on Kubernetes. So I just wanted to kind of share that. And here is a QR code that you can use to get introduced to the project. So if you want, you can scan the QR code and get some more information about the project. And if you want, you can also take a picture of this slide. These are some of the resources for GitOps if you are interested. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. I'll be open to any questions. This is the QR code for taking you to the slides. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy. And again, thank you for attending. I earlier thought there was only one person in the room, so I was a bit scared. But seeing so many people here, I think it made my day. Thank you so much.